Great morning. Come on in, you guys. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Super excited to have you all this morning. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in. Let me grab my other phone. And turn on the do not disturb. Hmm. Great morning, you guys. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Who's here and where you're tuning in from. Oh, that's not on there. Thank you. Good morning. I can't see who it is, so please let me know. Listen. Mm, mm. Turn on my do not disturb. Okay. All right. You guys come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Hiro kosarabakose. Hiro kosatarebekesiti. Nipokoro bayese. Niko shotaba. Hiro kosarabashote debokorebesi. You all come on in. Oh, God. Hey, Evelyn, how are you? Mm, 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 mm. I'm amazing. Thank you. Mm. Y'all hold on for a second. Mm. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, Christina. I'm going to tell y'all it's going to be a little different today. I already feel it. It's already hitting different. So I know it's going to be different today. So just know that. Just know. Just know. It's let's go ahead and take our shot because I know this is gonna be heavy. So let's take our shot. All right, you guys, listen, Linda, listen. If you don't have Alive in your life, you need to get some. Listen, this product is absolutely amazing. It's a superfood. It's going to assist your body, and it may regulate blood sugar levels, help with your blood pressure. It may reduce swelling and inflammation. It may assist your mood and elevate your mood, and your libido, all those things. If you want to know more about it, get with myself or someone else that I'm connected to, that is offering these services. Hey, Raquel, how are you, beautiful? Listen, it's changing lives. That's what I'm going to tell y'all. So y'all know how we do. We getting ready to get started, right? Shot, 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 shot. Everybody shake, shake, shake. What we doing? Shake the devil off. Hey, 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 hey. Shake, shake, shake. Shake the devil off. So listen, we shake it up, pour it up, and drink it up, knowing that every shot, oh my goodness. Woo, and it's good and brown. That's all that cinnamon. Now know that we got a new flavor coming. The new flavor is apple beets cherry. It's going to be amazing. And we know beets are really good for heart health. Listen, cheers. Here's to It's in You. Cheers. My God, today, I'm going to pour my husband's shot, but promise you, baby, he might not be up because it's raining real hard here. And when it rains hard, that man be asleep. All right, y'all. So listen, today it's gonna hit a little different. It's gonna hit a little different. I'm gonna tell you, I got my Kleenex right here because I'm telling y'all, God is doing some stuff. Look, I said, God, what to say to your people? He said, it's in you. I said, well, what's in you? What's in us? What's in me? What is it? He said, everything that you're looking for. Ha shaboroko sete robayasa. Everything that you're searching for is already in you. See, listen, when God made us, he made us complete and whole. Listen, even though life happens and things happen and we may begin to feel like we're missing something, everything has already been deposited in us. Why? He's in us. If he's in us, then we have everything we need already in us. But when you, listen to me, when you allow life and the world to convince you that you're missing something, you will always look for it outside of you, that which is already in you. My God, today. You're looking outside of you for what's already in you. It's in you. It's in you. It's in you. I need you to type in the comments, it's in me. It's in you. You don't need nobody else to give it to you. You don't need nobody else to tell you. You don't need nobody else to validate it. You don't need it because it's already in you. It's in you. And because people see that it's in you, they resent you. I said what I said. They resent you. They resent you because it's already in you and you're walking in it. They resent you and they try to convince you that somehow it's not in you. Because if they can get you to believe that it's not in you, then You might need them. Oh my God. Woo, Jesus. Yes, yes, Raquel, it's in you. Eveline, it's in you. Christina, it's in you. Summerlin, it's in you. Listen to me. Look, I need y'all to get this. I think I'm a little different. And I know that God has been doing some things in me that have been the fire required to purify and sanctify me. But there's this thing. My goal is to get you to the point where you don't need me. Because you really don't need me, but you don't know you don't need me until I convince you and show you what's already in you. Then you realize, wait, it's been in me all along. Yes, it's been in you all along, but you have allowed people to beat you down so badly that so you would need them. I don't want you to forever need my coaching. I don't want you to forever need my classes. I want you to get to the point where you see what's in you and you're able to tap in and say, okay, let me be still for a minute. Because the answer is in you. You're looking for the answer, but the answer is in you. And if you will just trust and believe, if you would just trust that the God that resides in you is the same God that resides in me, and that it's in you because he's in you, not just because of who you are, but because of who's in you. God, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah is in you. He's in you. The Most High resides, the Creator resides in you. The Creator of the entire universe is in you. Sometimes I get questions. People ask me stuff, and I don't respond. And some might say, Dr. V, that's mean that you don't respond. When I don't respond, that means you got the answer. You don't need me to tell you the answer because you got the answer, and I'm not going to be your crutch. You got the answer. So if you ever ask me a question and I don't respond, okay, one, I may not have seen it yet, but if you see that I saw it and I haven't responded, either I'm trying to decide how I'm going to respond or I'm not going to respond at all. And if I don't respond at all, listen, it's because you know the answer. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to force you. I'm not here to spoon feed you. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to show you what's already in you. I'm here simply to be a mirror. Do you know that? You know what that's what I do? I'm simply a mirror. I show you you. That's what I do. You know what this is my great talent. This is my great skill. My great gift from God is I'm able to hold up the mirror so that people can see who they really are. I'm not talking about who you think you are. I'm not talking about who people said you are. I'm talking about who you really are. I'm talking about the real you, the you that God created, the you that God knew before the foundations of the world, the you that already has destiny, the you that already has purpose, that you. Like I'm here to hold up the mirror so you can see you. And maybe, just maybe, if you can see you, you'll begin to walk in the fullness of who you really are. See, because the world will convince you, trauma will convince you, all of these things will convince you that you are not enough. You're not worthy. You're not valuable. You're not seen. You're not important. The world will try to convince you of that. So our response to that is either maybe we may shut down, or maybe we may not shine as brightly, or maybe, just maybe, we'll convince ourselves that we are everything and there's nothing that we need to work on and there's nothing that God needs to do in us because we're super positive and we only speak the positive. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with speaking the positive, but this is what I'm going to tell you. There's some things in this season that God is trying to dig up out of us. God's trying to dig some stuff up out of us so that we don't have to just speak positive, but we can really believe the words that we're saying. We can literally dig up those roots. The roots of the things that have made us to feel less than, the roots of the things that have made us to feel not seen, the roots of the things that have made us to feel not valuable or not smart enough or not beautiful enough or not talented enough or not gifted enough or not anointed enough or not educated enough. You put the whatever the not is for you, whatever that is, where did that start? Can we deal with that? Because if we can deal with that, we can remove that, and that no longer has to be a source of pain for you. It doesn't have to keep being a sore spot for you. So this is my confession. Growing up, growing up, I'm gonna get to it in just a second. I want to address this, right? Because I said Jehovah, I said Yahweh, I said um, um, Allah. I said all of them in the same sentence. So let me talk about that for just a second. Isaac and Ishmael were brothers. Both of them came from God. Ishmael is where we get the Nation of Islam, and Isaac is where we get what we know now as Christianity, right? They were brothers. God had a promise on both of their lives that he would not leave them. He told Ishmael, he said, listen, he said, you're going to have a great nation. You're going to be the father of a great nation, and I'm not going to leave you. I will provide for you. That same God, they simply call that God Allah, right? Now, do things get perverted and twisted? They absolutely do. But God is God. Okay. Now listen, you ain't got to listen to me. You ain't got to, you can be, oh Lord, she said Allah and Yahweh is the same thing. Y'all can deal with that how you want to. I'm telling you, Ishmael and Isaac were brothers. God had a promise for both of their lives because Ishmael, what happened to him was not his fault. That was Sarah, and we're going to talk about her today in service. That's because Sarah was impatient, and she couldn't wait for God to do it the way he wanted to do it. You think God was going to punish Ishmael and Hagar for Sarah's disobedience and impatience? That's not the God that I serve. That may be the God that you serve. You got to work that out for yourself, but I have reconciled in my own self that God is God. And you're going to have crazy people on all sides in every religion. Okay, now I've dealt with that. Now let me go on, okay? Because we get caught. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. Listen, for me growing up, there's some things that have always been true about me, okay? I've always been cute. I've always been smart. I've always been very outgoing and loving and gregarious and friendly. I've always been those things. I've always been like that. Like, I've always been loud. I've always been the center of attention. I've always thought the world revolved around me. I always have. Like, from a little child, like, listen, it's supposed to be my way. Like, it's supposed to be, right? I've always been like that, right? But I can remember as a child going to my big mama's house. And one of my aunts and some of my cousins, her children, would treat me like I was less than. Like her kids were better than me. All these things, right? I see, this is the thing about me. I just wanted to be loved. Like, for me, I love family. But when I would go, and I would go just about every Sunday, little things would be said, little things would be done. I never said anything to my daddy about it. But I remember my big mama, my grandmother, when I would be there after everybody else had left. And she would just love on me because she saw what was happening. She saw it. She saw it and she knew. And she would tell me how special I am. Okay. That thing dug deep into me. It dug deep into me. Now, as an adult at 57, well, really at 55, I realized what the issue was. The issue was that they didn't think that my daddy was my daddy. And the truth of the matter is they were right. He wasn't. But what happened was there was some stuff inflicted on me because of what they believed, which was the truth, that scarred me deeply. And it created in me, because, see, you got to understand, my family on my mama's side, like my immediate, oh my God, it always be on the men's side. I don't know why, right? Because the same thing happened on my granddaddy's side, on my mama's daddy's side, which today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Daddy. And sometimes we don't understand. People don't understand what they're doing to children, right? So from all of that was birthed my pleaser, my stickler. If I just please everybody, right, then I'll be liked and loved. If I just, if I can just do everything perfectly, then, add to that, my dad had a tendency early on in my life to focus on what I was doing wrong instead of what I was doing right. And he wasn't a bad daddy. He really wasn't. But he didn't know what I needed. He just didn't know. So I'm getting every Sunday through the week. My grandmother loved me. Listen, when I tell you my grandmother loved me, my aunts loved me, my uncles loved me. Like, it's so funny how God like did that thing to try to balance it out, right? To try to balance it out. Nonetheless, there would be places where I would be where they would do and say things that made me feel less than, not good enough, not valuable. And I may not have said anything about it, but it was there. And it was a lot of negative, and it was a lot of, those things affected me. And as smart as I was, and as talented as I was, and as much as I did, the roots of those things are still there. How about that? Even when I think that I've pulled it up, I realized this week how much it's not gone, right? Something happened and it triggered me. And I had to ask myself, why does this bother me so much? Why does it bother me like this? And then I had to deal with the fact that it's rooted in that. Okay? You see, I've learned and I've told you guys that everything that happens is about you. Even though other people may be involved, it's about you. So what you've got to figure out is, what is it that God is trying to show you in you that you need to deal with? Yes, you can address things with other people, but there's some stuff in you that you have to deal with. And listen, this is not my season to talk about it and not be about it. This is not my season to teach it but not live it. Like, literally, God is aligning everything in my life in this season. And so when I see it, I must deal with it. So the answer was in me, and I had to find it. Our problem is we don't want to look, because we don't want to deal with things. We don't want to see things. We don't want to face things. We don't want to address things. We don't want to be honest with ourselves. And I talked about that yesterday when I talked about grow, right? How do you grow? You have to be grateful. You got to be real with yourself, real with others, real with God. Even though God knows, you still need to be real with him. You got to be obedient. You got to be obedient to God and do what he says, no matter how difficult it is. And you got to be willing to do the tough stuff, willing to face stuff, right? So those cousins. Listen, I just believe in every family, there are those cousins that everybody look down on. Listen, Rhonda, you know what I'm talking about. It's those cousins that people want to look down on. Now, you can't control your situation. Your situation is your situation, angel number 144. But people want to look down on you because of your situation, stuff that's out of your control, stuff that you have nothing to do with, stuff that you didn't create. But people want to look down on you, and it affects you. And it takes time for people to deal with that, to address that, to face that. And yet we have to. We have to face it. We have to address it. Now, look, y'all might not be willing to admit, what that stuff is in your life, but I got to admit it in mine. Why? I want to be free. I don't have time to be bound by the things of my childhood, the hurt of family members or other people. Listen, because it wasn't just happening there. Then I got it at school because I wasn't black enough for the black people and I wasn't white enough for the white people. I felt like I was biracial and I wasn't. I just didn't fit. But God ordained it for me not to fit. He ordained it for me to go through what I went through. He ordained it because he knew I needed some thick skin for where he was taking me. But I first have to deal with what's at the root of my feeling. What is at the root of it? Now, listen, positive psychology, I love it. I teach it. It's one of my things. One of the things I love about psychology is positive psychology because it focuses on what you can control, self-actualization, and being positive. But you can be positive all day long, but if you never deal with the root, it's going to have a wrong motive. It's going to have a wrong thing. It's going to be twisted. I need y'all to hear me. You can't just place positive on top of the negative without dealing with it and pulling that stuff by the root and think it's going to come out right. It's not. It's going to come out twisted. Perverted just a little bit. Perverted just a little bit. Just a little bit. Perverted. See, because it's not about what you do. It's the motive behind what you do. See, the problem was not that I was an achiever. The problem was that I thought my whole value and identity was rooted in my achievement. That I had to be perfect. That if I took a misstep, if I messed up, like, oh my God, like the world is going to end. I'm a horrible person. So we've got to understand, this is why I deal with the saboteurs. This is why I do no more sabotage. This is why. Because we sabotage ourselves and we don't even realize we're sabotaging ourselves. We sabotage relationships and we don't even consciously realize that's what we're doing. But the truth of the matter is this. Sometimes we get to a place where we want to push people away. So we do ish that we know. Come on, you know that ain't right. Because we're trying to push people away because we really don't feel worthy. We don't feel worthy. We don't feel valuable enough. But the answer to all of it is in you. But you got to be willing to look. You got to be willing to see. You got to be willing to deal with it. You got to be willing to face it. Our pride has us in such a place where we can't be vulnerable. God said, honey, you better set that pride aside because, baby, I'm getting ready to pull all the cover off of you. All of it. You ain't going to be able to hide. You're going to be naked and unashamed. I ain't going to get naked, y'all. Don't worry. But you're going to be naked and unashamed. So I've had to do the tough work and continue to have to do the tough work. But the thing about me is this. This is one thing I'm going to tell y'all up front. Y'all need to know it. I'm in a place where I don't have time for anything. Nothing. Not one single thing to hold me back. I don't. So God is constantly checking me, constantly in my business, constantly showing me me. You think he's showing me you? Yeah, but he's showing me me. He may show me through you, but he's showing me me. And I get the choice, like you get the choice, about what I'm going to do with it. See, we either deal with it or we toss it aside and act like it's insignificant. It's not insignificant because this is a season of great healing. Great healing. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Great healing. God doesn't just want to heal you. He wants to make you whole. Wow. He wants to make you whole again, because there was a time when you were whole. You came into the world whole. The world, life, parents, siblings, family created fractures and damage. Then now we have to go back and examine and deal with and face. But the answer is in you. The answer is not outside of you, it's in you, but you've got to understand how to find the answer. Because once you find the answer, no one can take it away from you. Someone can give you the answer, but if you don't believe the answer, then you're not going to accept it. It's going to be lip service. God wants to make us whole. He wants that. He desires that. And he will begin to put things and people and situations and stuff will happen. You'll run across this live. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll run across stuff that provides a need. You'll be like, oh, wow, that's what it is. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you use it, or will you allow it to just be a thought, a fleeting thought, something that you looked at, something that you read, but you don't implement? This is implementation season. This is application season. And if you don't apply what God is showing you, then that's on you. That's not on God, and it's not on anybody else. It's on you. So you get to choose. What do you choose? What's your choice? I could have made it all about the situation, but it wasn't about the situation. It was about me. What is it in me? What is it in me? Listen, so if you pay attention to your life, there will be seasons and there'll be situations where things cycle around, right? They cycle around. And you get to choose to deal with them differently than you did in a previous season. There will be people who remind you of people. Situations may be very similar, and it'll come back around. And you get to choose how you deal with it. Now, it doesn't automatically mean just because you deal with it differently that there's going to be a different outcome, but it could, right? So it's not your job to censor the outcome. It's your job to do what you need to do in you. It's not my job to control anyone or anyone's actions or choices. Listen, you know who shows us that? Jesus. Jesus sat at the table with the disciples, right? It was his last Passover celebration. And they were eating the Passover meal. And there's a part of the Passover where they, would break the bread and they would dip it in the wine. They drink the wine, right? So, he says, this is my body broken for you, right? This was him saying, I'm being a living sacrifice, right? Take, eat all of it. Y'all know, we know it as communion, but it's a part of the Passover, right? Passover, Pesach, Pesach, which is a Jewish feast and festival, because we come from Jews, the children of Israel, because we are the children of Israel. Just saying. So we drink the wine. He said, this is the blood of my new covenant, right? This is the time when it went from just being the regular Passover to now there's this whole communion that Jesus has created. Now, while they're at that meal, they're sitting at the meal, they're eating at the table. Jesus knows that his time is coming, his hour is not. He knows that he's going to be betrayed. In fact, he says, one of you will betray me. And they're like, who? Who, God? Who would do that, my Lord? Not me. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do what you do. Are you going to betray him? He said, it's the one that dips his bread in my bowl, right? It was Judas. Judas dipped the bread in the bowl. Judas was sitting next to him, right? And this is what Jesus said. He said, do what you must, but do it quickly. You got to understand, in every season of your life, there will be a Judas. Right before promotion, a Judas will be there. I promise you it'll be there. Listen, and I want you to understand this, that Judas had a role in what Christ did. People debate about it. Oh, Judas went to hell. I don't believe Judas went to hell. Judas was trying to repent. Judas was trying to repent because he was like, I don't want this. This is wrong. This was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. I believe with everything in me, and I can't say for certain, and I don't have scriptural evidence to back it up, but I believe with everything in me that Judas repented. And because he fulfilled his assignment. His assignment was he had to betray Christ. He had to turn him over. That was his assignment. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all this. There was a season in my life when I would be like, why do I always get Judases? Everybody gets Judases. Listen, everybody has somebody that is going to turn. Everybody has it. It happens. It happens. It's a part of the process. You might as well get over thinking that it ain't going to happen for you. It's going to happen. But the question is not, will it happen? The question is, how will you respond? How will you respond? How will you respond? You got to choose how you're going to respond. Jesus never changed how he treated any of the disciples. He didn't change how he treated Peter, and Peter denied him 3 times before the cock crowed, or whatever it is, right? He didn't change how he treated Judas, and he knew Judas was getting ready to betray him. He never changed how he treated Thomas, and he knew Thomas was going to doubt him. He never changed how he treated any of the disciples, knowing exactly what they were going to do. He never changed. He did not change how he told them. He said, oh, you're going to deny me 3 times before the cock crows. He said, no, my Lord, I would never do that. You will. That's okay. I've prayed for you. Babe, you better get it together. Listen, you can't be consumed with fear of betrayal, nor can you be consumed with trying to protect yourself. Can't do it. You got to love. You got to love unconditionally. You got to love no matter what. You got to love no matter the outcome. You just got to love. Listen, that's it, point blank, period. No conditions attached. None. No conditions attached. You just have to love. You can't control people. You can't control what they do, what they think, how they feel, and how they move. But what you can control is you. And what you need to do is love. Every single one of us on this live, everyone who watches this live, you need to love. I don't care what people did to you. I know you say, Dr. B, you just don't know what they did. Love them. Love the hell out of them. But love them unconditionally, not this conditional fake golden love where you love people when they do what you want or when they agree with you or they're in alignment with you. No, you can't do that. That's not God's love. That's not. Now, I don't know what y'all reading, but that's not God's love. And God has broken it down and he's made it real simple, love. What's the answer? Love. What I need to do? Love. Love and forgive. Love and forgive. A recurring message. Love and forgive. Forgive and love. Love, forgive, love, forgive, love, forgive, love, forgive, love, forgive, and love some more. I didn't realize how much unforgiveness I had in my heart towards some people in my family. I didn't realize how deep it ran. And then when other people would do things, it would take me back there. So then guess what? I ain't forgiving you neither. F all y'all. For real. Listen, I don't need none of y'all. Cut, snip. I don't need you in my life. My life was going before you and it'll go after you. Cut. But with that, there's no unforgiveness and there's no love. I got good at F you. I got good at cut you. I got good at that because it's my protection mechanism. That's how you protect yourself. But that ain't God. It's not God. The truth is that human beings are going to mess up. We're going to fall short. We're going to mess up and we're going to fall short. So who are we to not show grace and mercy and to not love others? What's right about that? Nothing. Nothing. So our judge triggers, it kicks in. We want to judge people for what they do. And I would never do that. And I would never. Why would you even do that? How dare you do that? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. All of us have done something and continue to do some things that somebody would look at and say, well, why would you do that? I can't believe you did that. So why not forgive and love? But you're never going to get there if you're not willing to look at you, because the answer is in you. It's in you. Everything that you're questioning, everything that you're, dealing with, the answer is in you. Some things in some situations, you need to write a letter. Sometimes you need to have a conversation. But in all of it, you need to love and forgive from the root. Because when you understand what it's costing you, it's not worth it to hold on to it. The myth of the pleaser is this: I did it not wanting anything in return. I just did it from the goodness of my heart. That's the myth of the pleaser. But it's a myth, translation, a lie. It's a lie we hold on to because it makes us feel good about ourselves, makes us feel like good Christians, makes us feel like good people. But the truth of the matter is, the pleaser is always getting something out of it, even if it's that good feeling of having been able to help someone. I refuse to allow the pleaser saboteur to cause me to stay in bondage to lies. To what? Lies. It's a what? Lie. But I've got to live in truth. Got to be real with me, with God, with others. Realness is it costs. That's what I'm going to say. It costs. Realness means that you've got to let that shield that you've put up down. It means that you got to allow yourself to be vulnerable, knowing that people can use it against you. But it's worth it. So today I want you to remember, everything you need, it's in you because God is in you. And how could God be in you and you not have everything you need in you? That doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It's time for us to walk in truth and clarity and really understand what's going on with us, because trauma creates a distortion and distorted lens that we're not even always aware of. But nonetheless, it exists. We learn to mask, we learn to hide, we learn to look good, but the whole time inside, it's an ugly mess that we don't want to deal with. It's all these strings that are tangled up together, And we're trying to go forward with all this tangled stuff instead of stopping and taking a moment and unwinding the cords so that you can see clearly what's going on. It's up to us, though. We get choices. I choose freedom. I choose liberty. I choose love. I choose forgiveness. And believe me, it is a work in progress. I promise you, it is. And I know there's some people I've got to call and have conversations with. I should have had a conversation with a while ago, but there was so much anger and so much unforgiveness that the conversation would not have been fruitful, and I would have ended up cussing them out because they would have said something that pissed me all the way off. Trying to tell y'all, I know me. I know y'all good Christians, y'all don't cuss. I'm telling you, if they said the wrong thing to me, I know I would have cussed them out with no holds barred. And they would have been saying, the pastor, the apostle, the prophet, and she cussed me out. And did. And did. I own it. I cussed them plumb out. I did. I was wrong, but I did it. Just telling you. We got to do better. And the way we do better is by acknowledging what's in us, dealing with it, facing it, addressing it, and knowing that God is enough. And He's given you everything you need, and it's in you. Let me go ahead and look at angel number 144. Y'all, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, God is not a joke. Angel number 144 signifies that love is your life's focus and that the universe directs you toward profound love and progress. Angel number 144 reminds you that you have a divine purpose and it calls on you to seek spiritual guidance. Focus on your goals. Focus on achieving your goals. It represents hard work and determination. But focus on your goals from a right place. My identity is not in what I achieve. It's not. I'm who God created me to be. No matter what I achieve or don't achieve, I'm still who God created me to be. And I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And I'm the apple of God's eye, not because of what I do and what I achieve, but just because I am. And the same is true with you. And you need to know that. But at the same time, and my identity is not in achieving. And He calls me to achieve, but from the right place. Listen, I pray that this live has been a blessing to you. I pray that God has spoken to you and encouraged your heart. I'm going to be releasing my last No More Sabotage course of the year, and then I'm going to launch the boot camp. The boot camp is going to kick up the beginning of the year. Listen, this is what I'm going to tell you guys because I need y'all to understand this. What God is doing in this season is not a joke. It's very serious, and it's going to require you to deal with the depths of who you are. So if you're trying to stay in the shallow water, you better stop watching me because I'm going to challenge you to go to the depths because He's taking me to the depths, and that's where we get healed. That's where we're made whole is when we go to the depths. Healing can happen on the surface, but being made whole goes to the depths, to the deep places and the deep things of you, your life, your mind, your experiences, your saboteurs, the deep things, the deep. Deep calleth to the deep. So if you, this word blessed you and you want to sow a seed, you can sow at Cash App $, DRV Johnson 777, Cash App $ DRV Johnson 777. We're getting ready for our Sabbath worship service. Join us at Passionate Pursuit for Manifested Purposes Ministries. Our Sabbath worship service, it starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Central, and 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We want to see you there. I promise you, if you've enjoyed this word and this word blessed you, oh, this is the precursor to what he's doing in the Sabbath worship service. I'll see you there. Look, I love you guys to life and life more abundant. Have an amazing, incredible, and epic day. Be blessed. Mwah.